Hello everyone, and welcome back to Technically Unsure, where I'm not really sure what I'm doing technically.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog.
Today we are going to take a look at a computer that actually I ordered a while ago. Somehow I managed to completely forget about it. I have no clue how I did that. I just did it. Yeah, I was going through things that I have for the, to review, to play around, to check, and then suddenly I just noticed it. And as you might have seen in the video title, it is, of course, I'm talking about Radxa's Palmshell or Next H2 computer. And I was actually very excited about it because it does have dual 10GB Ethernet and also a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. So the 2.5 gigabit Ethernet is supposed to be RJ45 and the 10 gigabit is supposed to be SFP, and it all supposed to have link aggregation capability. Apparently it comes with AMD Ryzen embedded R1505G, which is 2-core, 4 threads, and it is like base clock is 2.4 and max frequency is 3.3. And it comes with some AMD Radeon Vega 3 graphics, which is I think 1000 megahertz. It goes up to 32 gigabyte RAM. I bought the developer version, which is bare bone. There's no shell or case around it. I think I paid like $200 for it. I have to find some RAM for it, and I think the RAM it supports it should be DDR4 24 megahertz SODIMM, which is the regular 2400 megahertz RAMs that I had for other motherboards that I reviewed here, the Chinese motherboard and even the Supermicro motherboard. All those motherboards I use the 2400 SODIMM, 2400 DDR4 RAM. So we're gonna do that in here and try it out. And seems like also it supports 4K. But anyway, without further ado, let me grab it. Okay, here you go. This is the Next H2 SBC developer version, and this is the power supply for it. So let me grab my mighty knife and let's take this apart. And this one, as I was saying, a Ryzen R1505. It is the 2-core, 4 threads, 3.3 gigahertz boost, though that's max, and Vega 3 customized copper heatsink with 3000 RPM PWM. And the Ethernet, yes, 2 10 gigabit SFP plus ports and one 2.5 gigabit RJ45. Wireless, there's also M.2 key, M.2 B key, so also supports 4G and 5G modules, not gonna go there. Display, we just will use the HDMI. USB, there are 2 USB 3.1 Gen 2 ports and 2 USB 2. Storage, there is M.2 NVMe SSD slot. And also power supply is not included, which I bought it separately, which is this one. The power supply looks bulky. Let's see why. Well, okay, this side. All right, so in terms of power supply, input is 100 volt to 120 volts, so it is not compatible. So I guess I bought the US plug. So for European, you have to buy it separately. And output is 19 volt, 5.26 amps. That's a lot of power for Ryzen embedded. I don't know what's going on. Let's take a look at it. Why? Let's take a look at it. Throw that away. Okay, finally. Okay, so this is the one they were talking about that does have the heatsink already installed on it, but no case, no shell or no case. So this looks neat. This is the short one where you can insert the Wi-Fi M.2 B key, where you can insert the 4G, 5G module. I see a SATA connection in here. So that's the SATA connection. There's another one over here. So that's 2. And this says VBAT, so that's power connection. And same thing over here. And then in the back, here's the SODIMM where I have to insert. So it says supports up to 3200. I have to find one. Well, I have a bunch of these RAMs, but they are all DDR5 SODIMM ones I have to figure out. So I will find something. This is SIM card slot, by the way. This is not SD card, so SD card is on the other side. Okay, so I/O, the most important part. There you go. So as you can see, these two gigantic ones, these are the SFP ports, two 10 GB each, and then there is a 2.5 gigabit RJ45 port, two HDMI's, two USB 3.1s, and two USB 2s, and this is where the power connection goes. In the back, two DIMM slots, so I have to insert some RAM in there, and NVMe 2280 goes here, and another M.2 slot over here. I think, yeah, this is 5G. Yeah, it says 5G, so this is for 5G module if you want to use, and this is for the storage, and this is probably Wi-Fi card if you want to. Nothing else, nothing special. This is soft. What's going on over here? Do I remove this or keep it there? Okay, I'm gonna keep it there, whatever it is. That's the Palmshell logo over there, and yeah, what I'm gonna do is I am going to first, let's try with the RJ45, and I will insert NVMe SSD over here that I have. Let me grab it. Okay, we inserted the NVMe SSD, which is a 4 terabyte, a very fast NVMe SSD. Let's go with the RJ45 and let me get the SSD and RAM and everything working first. Then I am going to grab a long fiber cable here, SFP, and then I will try to connect it to my router. We'll do this last. This looks very neat, very nice, very small package. I don't think I have seen something like this that has two SFP and a 2.5, and then this size. So definitely unique. And I am going to try to find some RAM, power it up and everything, and then we take it from there. So give me a couple minutes, I will be right back. Okay, so now we are going to, as you can see, the fan started ramping up. I inserted an Ubuntu and I brought out a Windows 11 as well. First, let's go to BIOS. There you go. So it detected the RAM. There you go, 16 GB DDR4 RAM, it detected. It seems like Palmshell.sd, and I believe Next HD. That's the latest BIOS, but I will check. So in terms of I/O, trusted computing is there. So definitely, I mean, not definitely, I think we will be able to install Windows 11 as well. And then there is AMD LTF TPM stuff, IDE. Wait, SATA port. Oh, I was going to say, so this SATA port actually can support more, I think. So that's why it's showing like that. Okay, we'll come back to that later. Let's keep going. Demo board, I don't even know what that is. S5 and CPU configuration. NX is enabled, SVM is enabled. So basically, I think you will be able to install Proxmox on this and use the SFPs and all the computing power. It's not much, 2 core 4 threads, but you can run, I guess, yes, absolutely. You can run a Proxmox with maybe pfSense, or just install pfSense on this and turn this into your firewall. But yeah, there's more capabilities to it. It's gonna be, I believe it's a little bit too much. There's for pfSense. So there is a above 4G decoding, SRIOV, that would you need if you use Proxmox and you want to do pass-through, you will need to enable that. USB configuration stuff, network. Oh, there is a CSM, NVMe. Yep, it detected my 4 terabyte one. SDIO, RAM disk configuration, and the 2.5 gigabit Ethernet is detected. So Southbridge config, SB power, SB debug, and GFX, and Northbridge, which is RAM stuff. Oh, okay. So there is the security boot and AMD PBS stuff. All right, so you have a lot of control over things over here. Now I'm gonna play around that. Zen and DF and UMC and VIO, all that stuff. So I'm going to boot from my USB device. I just want to boot into the Ubuntu, okay, and do a bunch of benchmarks. Let's take a look at the power consumption. As you can see, it's 24 watts when it is booting into Ubuntu, and eventually I will install Windows 11. I saw that they have released their drivers on some Chinese website. It was .cn domain and everything. So anyway, it is there. I have downloaded. They had drivers for Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Ethernet, and drivers for the graphics, AMD graphics, and some other stuff. So anyway, we are going to go there eventually, but first let me just try Ubuntu. I'm not going to install Ubuntu. I'm just going to try Ubuntu. Okay, so I booted into Ubuntu, as you saw in the fast forward. Now, if I do IP address, as you can see, the 2.5 gigabit is connected and got the IP address, and that's working fine. And there, I already see 2 SFP ports right there. Okay, they are not connected. Though I didn't install any driver. And by the way, it's idling at 9.5, 9.7 watts. Now, if I do iPerf3 test, okay, that jumps up to 15, 21, 21, 22 watts. And as you can see, it is exactly 2.5 gigabit. So it's, yeah, 22 watts is used when an iPerf3 is running. And we are getting exactly 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. So 2.5 gigabit Ethernet definitely works. And in terms of sysbench, if we do sysbench and threads and proc, CPU run, the power consumption goes up to, again, 2120. Yeah, it's stuck in 21. Okay. And it's not hot, honestly. Okay, so we are getting basically, okay, that's low, but let's try the stress NG. Okay, as power consumption is 35 watts, by the way, when you're using stress NG. So 35 watts went up to 35 watts, and we are getting 11,000 in this stress NG. And just for reference, the Raspberry Pi 5 is like 800, 900, okay? So it's definitely a powerful CPU, and I can feel it, like the Ubuntu is very, very snappy. Like when I'm using it, it's really snappy. And if we go back to gparted, you will see that NVMe SSD is definitely detected. And yeah, I can basically use this, install the operating system. So let me clear it out. Okay, and apply. Okay, so yeah, the NVMe SSD is clear now. I will be able to install the operating system on it, which is going to be Windows 11. Yeah, I'm not gonna do much more here in the Ubuntu. I guess the drivers are not installed for the graphics. Let me do a neofetch. Let's see what's going on over here. Oh, AMD actually GPU is also there. So I guess if we go to maybe YouTube and try a 4K demo. That was LG, I think, the one that I keep trying. Yeah. So this one, okay. And stats for nerds. Yeah, it's very snappy, very, very, very snappy. If we go 4K, yeah, it's not dropping any frames at all. As I was feeling it, that it is very, very snappy. It's not gonna drop any frames. So yeah, definitely you can use this as a personal workstation as well. There's 2 SF ports, remember, and the power consumption is very fair. That's like 12 watts for a very powerful computer. I can definitely use this for daily tasks and, you know, web surfing, maybe even coding. So this is a very powerful computer, 12 watts and $200 just as is. With the case and stuff, it's out of stock, so I don't really know the pricing, but yeah, it is what it is. So I showed you as much as I can here in Ubuntu. I know you guys like this to support Windows as well, so you want to see if it supports Windows, and we want to try the SFP ports. So I think because it doesn't require the drivers, first let me try to do SFP port test in here. Let me grab a SFP cable and take it from there. I will be right back. All right, so we are back, and I brought this cable that is connected directly to my router, the main router. So it says right here, SFP plus 10 GB base CU. So I have this cable, and I took out the 2.5 gigabit. And if we do an IP address, let me clear the old ones. Okay. So clear IP address. We don't have any IP. Okay. Now I am going to insert this. Okay. So I inserted that. Okay, and finally I got the IP address. So that is 172.16.1.150. And if we do, and as you can see, the 2.5 is not connected. So if I do an iperf again, it's going to be 50 bidirectional 72.16.1.1. As you can see, that's going to be, hold on, not as you can see, so hold on. Okay, so the distance of the cable is a little bit far, but it's still, I was expecting a little bit more from it. But could be the length of the cable and the quality of the cable. But let's see again. Yeah, it starts with 10 and goes down. I don't know if it is... Okay, it goes up to 9 and 7. It seems like it's not the cable issue. It seems like it is the board issue. I mean, that is the speed it is doing. 8, 7, 8. So these SFP stuff can be janky. You know, it's a little bit tricky. So you know what? I'm gonna grab one more adapter and let's try that one as well. Okay, so I grabbed the 10 gigabit capable RJ45 Ethernet cable, and I have one from Ontario and one from Unify. So let's try with Ontario. I had much better results with this usually. So I'm going to use this and see if that improves the speed. Let's do an IP address again. Yeah, I didn't like this one. Okay, so let's try the Unify one. Maybe that would be better. It doesn't like the Unify as well. It doesn't like the Ontario one too. So let me, I just try the other port as well, just in case, Oh, it seems like that one is going to work, I guess. At least it detected, okay, yes. All right, weird, I don't know why it didn't work on this port, but it is now working on this. So let's repeat the iperf3 test. Okay, so I'm sorry, that was a cable issue. Now we are getting that 10 gigabit speeds that we were expecting to see. So yeah, with the Ontario adapter and RJ45 Unify cable, I was able to get the 10 gigabit speeds. So yeah, 10 gigabit adapter also works. Now, finally, it is time to test the Windows 11. Let me see if I can install Windows 11. Okay, we are booting into Windows 11, and what I'm gonna do is let's just fast forward this process. First, just let me see if it passes those TPM requirements and such. And if it passes those, we can go into fast forward mode. There you go. All right, all good. Let's go into fast forward. All right, so we're back, and this computer, I just have good news about it. Absolutely nothing, no issues whatsoever. Power consumption when I was using Cinebench, it went up to 35-36 watts. Default Windows 11 works out of box, and the 2.5 gigabit Ethernet works without installing any driver. For these though, you need to install driver, but you can connect the 2.5, download the drivers, install them. So I can tell you absolutely, after using it for a while, I can tell you absolutely that you can use this as a daily driver. You can do web surfing, working on this, all sorts of things, even programming. And here you can see Cinebench score of 125. And here is the Crystal Disk score, and it is very fast. And also finally, as you saw that, and I'm gonna run it again, 10 gigabit Ethernet works flawlessly. And you see it goes up to 33-35. So yeah, this computer, $200 and two 10 gigabit Ethernets plus a 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, two HDMI ports, two USB 3 ports. It's a very fair price, and this computer is absolutely very powerful, I'm going to say. So yeah, and it's very quiet, by the way, and the heat is I don't really feel the heat. There's no heat almost. Yeah, even when I was running Cinebench, I couldn't really tell. So it's efficient. Yeah, so that's all I have to say for now. Please let me know if you have any questions. If you want me to try certain things, let me know. I will try to respond to you. But for $200, this is just this is a bargain. This is a very good deal, and I believe this can be put in a case. They also sell it with a case, but it seems like it's out of stock. But if you put it in a case, you can absolutely use this to run server applications as well. Put it in the rack and connect the Ethernet to SFP ports, and basically use this as a, I guess, firewall router. You can install, as I said, Proxmox, and then run a couple virtual machines. So yeah, those are all possible. So that being said, please let me know if you have any questions, if you want me to test certain things. And thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.